Why organic isn't enough. You're feeding your kids organic food, you're doing everything right, but there might be one place you're not thinking about where glyphosate is getting into their bodies, and it's shocking. Moms across America tested 5 childhood vaccines for glyphosate, the main ingredient in Roundup weed killer. Every single one was positive. The MMR vaccine, the one for measles, mumps, and rubella, had 25 times more glyphosate than the other vaccines. A separate researcher tested 14 vaccines and found glyphosate in 12 of them. The MMR vaccine in his testing had 35 times more glyphosate. This isn't a coincidence. It explains a lot. You're probably wondering, how does weed killer get into vaccines? Well, here's how it happens. Many vaccines contain ingredients derived from animals. Bovine serum from cows, chicken serum from chickens, gelatin from pigs. These animals are fed GMO grains that are heavily sprayed with glyphosate. Glyphosate doesn't wash off. It absorbs into the plant completely. Then, according to research, glyphosate concentrates in the animal's tendons, muscles, and the bone marrow. The MMR vaccine must be 25% gelatin because it's a live virus. Gelatin comes from pigs who eat GMO grains sprayed with glyphosate. That's why MMR has the highest levels. Here's what makes this absolutely critical. Glyphosate doesn't just sit there. It's a chelator, which means it grabs onto other toxins, like the aluminum in vaccines, and it escorts them through the blood-brain barrier into the brain. It literally breaks down the protective barrier around your kid's brain and deposits toxins inside. Researchers have found high levels of aluminum in specific parts of the brain of deceased patients with autism and Alzheimer's. Even Monsanto's own lead toxicologist admitted on record that glyphosate causes harm when it's injected. And what do we do with vaccines? We inject them. One mom whose son had severe allergies, autoimmune issues, food intolerances, discovered this connection. She said, "My kid got better when we switched to all organic food, but I had already given him almost all his childhood vaccines. Vaccines we now know are contaminated with glyphosate. He had 20 different food allergies. He had febrile seizures. He was gluten intolerant. We have an autism epidemic. We have skyrocketing rates of allergies, autoimmune disorders, behavioral problems, learning disabilities. Could vaccines contaminated with glyphosate be a major factor?" This information was presented to the current administration. They promised to test vaccines for glyphosate. We're still waiting on the results. Here's what we need. Mandatory testing of all vaccines for glyphosate and other contaminants. Requirements that vaccine ingredients come from organic sources. Only full transparency about what's in every vaccine. Research into the connection between glyphosate and vaccines and the autism epidemic, because parents deserve to know exactly what's being injected into their kids' bodies. Demand testing, demand transparency, demand clean vaccines. Our children's health depends on it.